Now we're ready to add the paper parts, and I am using all paper punched pieces. Like I said, I just find it really satisfying to use those punches and do that over and over again and see that pretty paper become something else pretty. It's just, I really like it. But if I'm using, I have used thicker handmade papers and hand cut things before. Or you can even use fabric. That was shown in one of the examples. Inspiration examples. So it's just like adding the other collage paper. You're going to put the Mod Podge or matte medium, whatever you're using, on the back. Smooth it down. You could use your plastic card if you wanted. This scrapbooking paper is fairly thick, so it actually resists the bubbles fairly well. It stands up to the adhesive nicely. So I am going to layer. This isn't the opposite side of that paper, but it is from the same stack and it coordinates pretty well. You do not have to do that. I just really like this paper. Yeah. I'm getting my edges, make sure that's sealed down nicely. So I have a lot of these little petals in that color of the center circle that I used. I'm going to lay them out first to see how I want to go with it. Now there's nothing wrong with going over the edge, but it makes it a lot easier if you feel like framing it later, or if you want to stand your artboard up on a shelf to not have it go over the edge. And the one that I did in my art journal, the one that the petals that were hanging over the edge, they did get chewed up a bit. It's all okay, but just something to consider. And don't worry if you're not seeing the contrast that you want between the paper and the paint. You can always go back over the paper with some paint later, or an artist pen. You can outline it. There are lots and lots of options. I like the process of punching out the papers, but ultimately what I like with the mandalas is usually something that's a little more irregular with the edges. So I'll go ahead and go back and create chaos. Create a little more irregularity when I'm defining the edges. As I said in the write-up, if you're looking to nature for your inspiration, we find nature beautiful whether all the petals are the same size or whether there's something else growing up in between it, or if a bee has landed on it. So again, I'm running into the situation. Do I want to go ahead and use these bigger pieces and have this one go over the edge, or skip the big pieces? So a general design concept that I learned from watching lots of TLC and all those design shows, like decorate your room for $1,000, or switch with your neighbors, or all of those various options that they had. Let's see, I don't know which one I want to do this, but so I noticed that something I was naturally gravitating towards was pulling the same colors out of the diagonals, because diagonals tend to repeat themselves in quote, good design. And I don't know if I have enough already punched out with that. I do have these hearts, and it's going to give a variation in the shapes anyway. So then I have these petals reflected here, and then this paper is reflected up here. And I happen to have all of these petals facing out right now, but you can just as easily face them in. See if that works better. think I like that one better. What I'm going to do is go ahead and stop the video here, and then I'm going to go and glue these down with the Mod Podge. You know how that works, so I'm just going to show it in fast forward, and then I'll dry it and come back in with an artist pen and define some of the edges. And if I do anything beyond that, then I will stop the video and explain what I'm doing. See you next video.